Okay, in today's video, we are going to talk about writing. So for this activity, all you need is a piece of paper and something to write with. Okay, so once you have your piece of paper, we're gonna make a writing and drawing template. So the first thing I want you to do is at the top of your paper, you're going to write a line across on one side and another line across on the other side. So you have two lines at the top. And my students know that at the top of our page, before we start our work, we always write our name, okay? So I'm gonna write my name, Miss Reckard. And they also know we write our name and our date. Okay, so I'm gonna write today's date. So today is May, so we write a 5 for May /1. It is May 1st /20 for 2020. Okay, so now that we have our name and our date at the top of the page, the next thing I want you to do is to draw a big square on your paper. This is going to be where we draw. Okay, so a big part of learning to write in kindergarten is also learning to draw. Either our feelings or activities or something we learned in a book, we can show what we learned through drawing as well as through writing. So have a big square on your paper for our drawing box. And then down here, we're just gonna do a line across, and that's where we're gonna write our sentence to match our drawing. All right, so when we're writing, we are going to follow these steps right here. So the first thing we're going to do is sketch our picture. Then we're going to label it. Then we're going to write a sentence to match. And the last thing we do is color. So first task is to sketch. So I'm going to think of what I want to draw today. And I'm going to draw something I did this morning. So this morning I woke up and I made some eggs for breakfast. So I'm going to draw me making some eggs. Okay, so we know that the character in my drawing is going to be me. So here I am drawing myself. And remember, your drawings do not have to be perfect. I'm not an awesome artist. I'm just trying my best. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is draw your character. So for me, I'm drawing myself. Here I am. Okay. And the next thing that you're gonna do is draw the setting, which is where the character is. So if I'm drawing myself making eggs for breakfast, my setting is going to be the kitchen. So in order to make eggs, I was cooking on the stove. Okay, so here I am drawing my stove, and I made eggs in a pan, and the pan was a circle with a handle. Okay, so there's my pan. Okay, here I am in the kitchen. And I was making eggs, so I'm gonna draw an egg with the yolk, and I made 2 eggs, so I'm gonna draw 2 eggs. There we go. All right, and let's see if I can add some more details to my setting. So here I am cooking the eggs. And also in my kitchen there is a table, and this table is shaped like a circle. So remember, when we're drawing, we can draw using shapes. Okay, so here's my table, and near the table is a window, so I'm going to draw a square for my window. I'm going to make it into 4 smaller squares. Okay. So I have my stove, making the eggs, my table, my window, and there is my kitchen. Okay, so once you have your sketch, that's number 1, the next thing we're gonna go to is labeling. Okay, so I have my setting, which is the kitchen. You can see me in the kitchen. My character is myself because I'm making eggs. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to make labels. So labels, remember, are words that tell us what we drew. All right, so here's where you're gonna need to be sounding out your words so you know how to write them. So here's me, so I'm gonna write me, that's a sight word. M-E, me. I'm gonna draw a little arrow pointing to me. And I am also gonna write, we know this is a table, so I'm gonna write table. All right, so I'm gonna sound out the word table. T, t, a. Ooh, that sounds like the long sound for a. T, a, b, b. T, able. And when we have a long A sound, sometimes we have a magic E on the end. So we do, in the word table, have our magic E at the end. So here's our table. And when we are writing labels for our drawings, we're gonna try to write 4 to 5 labels. So right now I have 1, 2 labels for my picture. So I'm gonna try to do some more. Well, I could write pan because I'm cooking in a pan here. So p, 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 an. I know that A and N, when they're together, say pan or say an. So now we have p, an. And I think for my last label, I'm gonna write the word egg. Egg. Okay, very good. So now I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 labels that will help my reader see what I drew. So now we can move on to the next step. So first we made my sketch of me cooking eggs. Second, I wrote my labels. I have 4 labels. I want you to be trying to label 4 or 5 different parts of your sketch. And the next thing we're gonna move on to is our sentence. So for this drawing, I'm going to write the sentence, I made eggs. So I want you to think, how many words am I gonna be writing? If I'm writing the sentence, I made eggs, how many words is that? I want you to think about that. Okay, now I'm gonna use my fingers to help me count how many words I'm gonna write in my sentence. I made eggs. How many fingers am I holding up? 3. So I'm gonna be writing 3 words in my sentence. You can also clap out our words. I made eggs. And I clapped 3 times. So we know we have 3 words in this sentence. So I'm going to draw 3 lines for my word holders. So we have 1 for I. And what do we need in between each word while we're writing? We need a finger space. Okay, so finger space, I, finger space, made, finger space, eggs. And what comes at the end of our sentence? Period, to show us to stop. So there's our period. All right, now it's time to write our sentence. So the first word is I. That's a sight word. We know how to write that. We know since it's the beginning of our sentence, we're gonna do an uppercase I, not a lowercase I. Okay, now we need made. So let's think about how to spell made. M, A. So that's a long A. A-D. Now, does that look like the word made? Let's try to sound it out. M-A-D, mad. So I'm not trying to say I mad eggs. I want to say I made eggs. So remember, just like table, we needed the magic E to make the A say its name. We need a magic E at the end of made. Now the A says A instead of A. So we have I made eggs. So eggs is going to be egg. Egg, eggs. Okay, good. Now remember, when we're learning to write and we're learning to spell, we're just going to do our best to sound things out. It does not have to be perfect. All right, and here we have our sentence. I made eggs. You can read that with me one more time. I made eggs. All right, very good. Now I can show this to someone and they'll know what this drawing is about because they can read my sentence. And they can see the labels in my sketch. So after our sentence, we are going to color it, okay? So now is when you would get out your crayons or your markers and do your very best coloring. All right, personal best, high quality work. And that is how I want you all to be practicing your writing while you're at home. Remember, you can follow these steps. Sketch first, label second, write your sentence next, and color. All right, so I hope that you all are practicing your sketching and your writing. You can be drawing pictures of things that you're doing, or you can be drawing pictures of how you feel. And feel free to take pictures of your drawings and your sentences and send them to me.